By now you probably have heard of Siser EasySubli Heat Transfer Vinyls, but you still might not be sure how to use the product, or you might have been discouraged from all my previous EasySubli videos that show a certain sublimation printer that doesn't match the one you have. No worries, we can still make it happen. Hey everyone, I'm Joe with Siser North America. Welcome to another episode of the Decoration Zone. Hang out with me. In this episode, I'm going to take you through the process for what we call the two-step process when sublimating on Siser EasySubli Heat Transfer Vinyl. But before we get started, if you can all do me a huge favor and heat press that like and subscribe button, it'd greatly be appreciated. Now, let's begin. Siser EasySubli Heat Transfer Vinyl is still one of the most unique heat transfer vinyls on the market. This is an HTV that you can print directly on with sublimation inks to get vibrant full color transfers, and it doesn't limit you to any specific type of fabric or color of garment. All my previous EasySubli videos have shown me printing directly from a Sawgrass sublimation printer onto my EasySubli Heat Transfer Vinyl. Now, I'm well aware that there are other types of sublimation printers out there. Unfortunately, not all printers can allow you to print directly from it. So, with the process I'm going to show you in this video, you will have a successful print with EasySubli no matter what sublimation printer you have. To start, you're going to print your sublimation transfer on sublimation paper. Make sure you mirror your printed design. Then you're going to cut the shape of your transfer on the EasySubli Heat Transfer Vinyl using your vinyl cutter. It is important to remember you do not want to mirror your EasySubli cut file. Alright, now we have our EasySubli transfer cut. Next step is to weed out our excess material and our cavities. Alright, and then once you have your EasySubli weeded, the next step is you're going to want to cut down your sublimation transfer. All you need to do is take a pair of scissors and trim the edges of your printed transfer. You want to get it as close to the print as you can get. This is going to help when you line up the printed transfer onto the EasySubli. Obviously, sublimation paper is not transparent, so it is nicer to get that registration as easy as you can for the lining up. The next step you're going to do is you're going to set up your heat press. Now, this is where it varies, and we definitely recommend referring to the sublimation paper you are using and the application instructions that it indicates on that sublimation paper. So follow the time and temp that it recommends for the sublimation paper you are using at home. So I'm set to 385 degrees for my situation. Again, the big thing with EasySubli and sublimation, you cannot apply on dark cotton. We're going to be pressing on a black 100% cotton with this sublimation print. So the first thing I'm going to do is test out my pressure. I also want to be set to a medium pressure on my heat press, so make sure you have that set up first. You also want to pre-press, get out some wrinkles and moisture. So my area is ready to go, my heat press is set up. The next thing I'm going to do, I have two different transfers I'm going to show you with the two-step process. Now, one of them is going to require using mask because they are separate pieces. So I'm going to start with the one solid piece. Now, if you're doing a transfer that is one piece, you don't need to use a mask to take it from the backing onto the garment. In this case, I can simply peel the EasySubli off of the backing. This is why I said do not mirror your cut file, because you're actually applying it the way you read it. So I'm going to lay that down. One solid piece, that's good to go. Now, if you have a situation like this, where it's multiple pieces, I recommend using the Siser EasySubli mask to lift your EasySubli off of the backing and get it onto the garment. So I'm going to just cut a piece of my mask off. I'm going to lay this down on the table with the sticky side facing up and just roll my transfer across it. Take a squeegee, create a bond, and then peel the backing off. This is where it's important to use the EasySubli mask because these are multiple pieces, not as easy to lift off one by one the way we did with the first transfer. So in this case, all it is just the EasySubli. Use a cover sheet and we're gonna tack the EasySubli down for 1 to 2 seconds. Now I can peel my mask off, and now here's where you're gonna take your sublimation transfers that you printed. Now I have 2 different versions. This one, I gave myself an extra bleed. This way I can have a little bit of a wiggle room when lining it up. This one, since it has a white contour, it's gonna be set inside my EasySubli. So again, 2 different ways you can approach this. Now I'm gonna use some heat tape to tape my EasySubli transfers down over the EasySubli. This way I don't get any shifting or any ghosting. So I'm gonna line these up first. Once I have those set, I'm gonna use a cover sheet. Again, you're gonna follow the instructions indicated on your sublimation paper. Also, if you're not using 100% dark cotton the way I am in this video, whatever you're using the EasySubli on, we always recommend testing that substrate underneath the high heat of the heat press before you do the application. It's very important that you make sure that it works before you put the EasySubli onto it. We obviously don't want you to ruin what you're applying on. So once I'm good here, I'm gonna press this for a full 45 seconds. So your transfers are gonna be very hot, so be careful when you're peeling the paper back. And there you have it. Colorful and vibrant results. Now, there are a ton of different sublimation printers, sublimation inks, and sublimation papers out there, so results can and will vary between them. But if you follow this process I just showed you, you can use Siser EasySubli with any of them. If you like this video, let us know. Give us a thumbs up, leave a comment. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell for more videos like this. I'm Joe with Siser North America. This has been another episode of the Decoration Zone. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you all very soon.